Hi everyone, it's Claire. We're really missing you here at Spring. So I have decided that once a week I'm going to read you a story from my home collection to brighten up your day or help you go to bed at night. And today I have picked The Dinosaur That Pooped a Planet because I know it's one of everyone's favourites. So here we go. Danny and Dinosaur liked to have fun. Some days they had lots, and some days they had none. One day they were bored. They had no games to play. Danny said, "Dinosaur, what shall we do today? We could mow the lawn, we could tidy the place, we could do our chores, or we could go to space." "But you mustn't forget your lunch," said their mummy. "You cannot have fun without food in your tummy." So they all packed a packed lunch for the Science Museum, where rockets were kept if you wanted to see them. There were hundreds of rockets and spaceship surprises, tall ones, small ones, and all shapes and sizes. And the one that was ready to launch with a door big enough for a boy and his pet dinosaur. They ignored all the warnings, and they couldn't care less. They pressed all the things they shouldn't have pressed. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition! They started their intergalactical space mission. They flew higher than houses and the buildings and cranes, much higher than birds and even higher than planes. "We're in space," Danny yelled as he floated around, but the dinosaur's tongue made a rumbling sound. "Is it time to have lunch?" Danny looked at his watch. Then he looked all around for the dino's lunchbox. Danny started to worry, then started to panic. They'd left their packed lunches back home on their planet. So with no food on board, not the smallest of crumbs, a distraught dinosaur feast had begun. It gobbled up gadgets and gizmos galore. Nothing was safe from the space dinosaur. Robots and ray guns and blinking red blinkers, eating things thought up by NASA's great thinkers. The hyperdrive Gannon reactor machine was swallowed along with the space tractor beam. It chewed and it chomped on the spaceship's control. The rocket was dotted with dino teeth holes. Inside it was bare, the spaceship was empty. Outside there were more things to eat. There was plenty. It broke down the door with a cool ninja chop. Out into space, dinosaurs much harder to stop. You see, he started to go off into space. It chomped on the moon like a big chunk of cheese, then shoved even more in its mouth, with a squeeze. It munched up the Martians from Mars and their cats. Their cats are like ours, but wear cooler hats. The satellites, Saturn, and 6 supernovas, shape-shifting saucers, and even 6 rovers. It guzzled up 5 gallons of fuel from the tank, and Danny's jaw dropped as he watched what he drank. With a crunch and a crack and a num-num-num, in one dino glump, their rocket was gone. Now nothing was left. All Danny could see was a fat dinosaur where the rocket should be. And so they were stranded with no way back home, just Danny and Dino in space all alone. Can you see how big the dinosaur's got because he's ate everything, including their rocket? Now Danny was crying, and he cried and he cried. He cried in his spaceship, and his tears filled his spacesuit inside. Unless they were going to stay there forever, the dinosaur needed to do something clever. With the feeling of guilt deep down in his gut, its brain brewed a plan involving its butt. It knew there was only one thing it could do to get them back home. It needed to poo. Like a poo-powered rocket, the dinosaur flew. Dan hopped on its back and he watched it as it pooed. It pooed went out the robots and ray guns and blinkers. The things that NASA's thinkers thought up were now stinkers. It pooped out the moon, it pooped out the stars, it pooped out the space rovers and Martians from Mars. When Danny looked back, he could see a poop trail from far out into space to the dinosaur's tail. They headed for Earth and they started to orbit. It pooped up on the clouds, but the clouds just absorbed it. They flew past the buildings and streets of the town, leaving their house all smelly and brown, and finally landed back down on the ground. "Hooray!" Danny cried. "We are home, safe and sound." They looked to the sky, and the things that were pooed had formed a poop planet right next to the moon. And so Danny promised to listen to Mummy, because fun is not fun without food in your tummy. And just when they thought all the pooping was done, a Mars cat plopped out of the dinosaur's bum. The end. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that, and hopefully next week we'll have another story. So everyone keep safe, and we shall see you all soon back at the nursery. Bye!